my tire blew up. I just went outside and put the spare tire on, and it's like 90 degrees outside, so I kind of wanted to die. But that has nothing to do with what today's episode is, where I'm watching Laid to Rest. I have been wanting to see this for years. Okay, I've had this in my possession for a very long time. This is, I believe, our first slasher movie that we're going to be reviewing here on How Extreme Is It? The series where I find the most disturbing movies on planet Earth and I force myself to watch them and then rank them based on how extreme they actually are. And today, we have a once again slasher movie, Laid to Rest. This is a 2009 release, directed by this guy, because I cannot for the life of me remember names. And he's also very well known for his practical effects. Yeah, what makes this movie so extreme, you may ask? It's because it's really gory. It's supposed to be really gory and very extreme, and the graphics are supposed to be insane. So I'm very excited to see this. You may be wondering, why is there a sticky note plastered on the front of this? Because this woman's massive tits are sticking out. So I'm sorry I cannot show you that on YouTube. I know, don't yell at me. I'm sorry, that's not my fault, okay? YouTube doesn't like that. So I can't show you that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I am very excited to see this. That's literally really all you need to know. It's just a very graphic slasher movie from 2009. If you're new to this channel, then make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If we can do that, I am going to implode of happiness. I also have something really horrific that I have planned for the 10,000 subscriber video. For me, it's going to be really fun for you, hopefully, but it's going to be, I don't know, I will not be the same person after filming that video at all. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but just get me to 10K. You guys are amazing. I'm already at 4,000. So, and without further ado, me and Gerald are gonna go ahead and watch Laid to Rest. Robert Hall is the name of the man who directed this movie. Now why, you may ask, did I go out of my way to make sure I got the name of this man? Because at the beginning of the film I didn't even know and didn't care, and usually I don't with movies. Just in general, I don't care who directs them. I just want to see the movie. The overall look of this movie, it's low budget, kind of cheap, kind of poor. The acting is not nearly as bad as I've seen in other movies, but it's bad, okay? But it's not bad. It's just bad. And the practical effects in this movie are some of, if not the best practical effects I have ever seen in any movie. Okay, these kills are so good and realistic. There is no movie on that board that I am looking at, the board of extremity, that comes even close to these practical effects. Now, it's not entirely practical. Okay, there is a use of CGI and practical effects. Not for all of the kills, I don't believe. This man makes his own practical effects, like him and his team make the practical effects themselves, and then blend in a little bit of CGI to enhance it, to like smooth them out and like make the transition good, to make it look like they're dying. And it works very well. Okay, it does. The practical effects, the kills, the gore, the blood, the dead bodies all look like actual dead people and people dying. It is kind of crazy. Okay, so if you like gore, before I even get into this film, if you like gore, stop what you're doing and just go watch this movie, okay? Because I need your feedback now. But yeah, now that I have praised its practical effects and a little bit of CGI, let's get into the movie, shall we? Okay, so the opening scene, we have this woman who she wakes up in a box. Okay, and it zooms out and it turns out that she's in a coffin. She's in a coffin in a funeral home, and she's alive. So she's banging on the coffin and stuff, and she bangs on the coffin so much that she knocks herself off of this stand that she's on and rolls the coffin over, does a full barrel roll like she's in a car wreck, and then the coffin bursts open because apparently it was like locked or something. I don't even know, are coffins like locked from the outside? Like if I theoretically was presumed dead and brought and shoved into a casket, would I be able to open it if I were to come back alive? Is alive a word? Like, would I be able to do that, or like, does somebody have to open it from the outside? I don't know. I might have to arrange that for when I die, just in case, you know. There could be a mistake. But yeah, this girl gets out. She's in this like super cool outfit. She's got like this gold corset thing on, but like she looks like a goddess. I don't know where she got this unholy drip from, but she's got style at least. But she has style and also dementia because she cannot remember anything at all. Okay, that is the theme throughout this entire movie. She has no idea who she is, or where she is, or why she is, or what she is. She knows nothing, okay? Absolutely nothing, okay? But she's in this morgue, she's going around, she sees like this cripplingly old dead lady body, and then she finds like this landline, and she's like, I don't know who to call, because she doesn't know anything, dementia. There's like this little sticky note on the phone, where it's like, in case of emergency, call 911. First of all, who's writing that down? Who doesn't know 911? Well, I mean, this is different because she has brain trauma, but like, who doesn't know that 911 is who you call for an emergency? Okay, why do you have to write that on a sticky note and put that on the phone in a morgue? Anyway, but she calls 911 and they're like, "Hey, what's your emergency?" She's like, "I woke up in a box." They're like, "Cool, where are you?" She's like, dead people." Like, okay, where are you? She's like, "I woke up in a death box." Like, not helpful. Look out the window. Look, where are you? Okay? So she can't think of any of, like, words, alright? She doesn't know the word coffin. She doesn't know, like, specific words. Okay, so it's like a toddler. And she's like, I don't know where I am. I have no idea. And they're like, "Okay, well, stay on the phone line for 30 more seconds so that we can trace the phone, alright? And we'll send a cop out to you." So do you know what she doesn't do? Stay on the phone line for another 30 seconds, because otherwise this movie would be going in a very different direction if the cops showed up. But she's in this room, okay, and she like sees this guy, all right, this very large man with a camera strapped to his shoulder. She's like, "Are you the guy from the police?" All right, she's speaking at a normal tone through the door, and apparently this man heard her. And he turns around, and it's this man in this slick silver skull mask, and it is very cool. Okay, that mask is really cool. It is shiny. It is reflective. It is like nice and silver, and he's got this little retro camera that's strapped to his shoulder that I don't. It's like a camcorder, you know. So it has like the little cassette things where you like it pops open, you shove it in, and they're cool. Okay, and I want one, and I like that guy because he has the thing on his shoulder. However, that is, if you couldn't use context clues, the killer of the movie, because nobody's walking around with a skull mask on unless they are actively murdering people. Definitely not from the police station, okay? But then he disappears, and she's like, but she's walking while still on the phone, but she walks so far away from the phone that's connected to the wall that the wire breaks. Boop, gone. All right, disconnected completely from the phone. All right, so she didn't stay on the phone for another 30 seconds is what I'm trying to say. She ripped the cord out of the wall because she walked away from the phone, which is so stupid. All right, but this skull guy is gone. All right, he saw her, but then just decided to, like, he's out. And then this old guy comes up. This old guy shows up, and he's like, "Who's there?" And they're all Southern, by the way. And she's like, "Help me." She's like, "There's this guy behind you." And he's like, "Oh, stop it. Ain't no one in here but me." And guess what? This guy in the skull mask takes this giant metal rod and shoves it through the old man and into the door. And then this lady, who has no idea who she is, stabs this knife, I'm pretty sure, through the glass door into this skull guy's eyeball after he just killed this old man. And then she opens the door and runs out into the street. And she's walking around in the street at night. And that is our opening scene, all right? It was kind of bad. I'm not going to lie. Usually opening scenes are supposed to catch your interest. like Terrifier 3 when they dismantle children. But this one, there was no dismantling small children bodies. There was just, killing an old man, which you couldn't really see. I mean, he did like vomit blood all over the door, so that part I guess was pretty good. But yeah, that that was our opening scene. We have this lady who has no idea who she is. We met our killer, who has a super awesome silver skull mask, and the owner of the funeral home is dead. All right, so this woman is walking on the side of the street. Actually, not even. She's in the middle of the road, and she's walking barefoot, unfortunately. And this guy drives by. Very nice man. All right, best character coming up. And he's got a cane. He's crippled. He can't walk. He can walk. He's just got this little gimpy leg. He's like that like in like A Christmas Carol or something, like little Timmy with the crutch. That's just kind of what I thought of when I saw him. But he shows up, he picks her up, he brings her to his house, and this man has a wife, all right? And this wife is not very happy that he brought home another woman. And he's like, yeah, well, she doesn't even know her name. Okay, number one. She said she came from where all the dead people are, so, she's like, well, she's probably on hard drugs, honey. That's probably why she's saying all of these things. And she's dressed as a hooker, okay? So how about we kick her out of the house? And he's like, dude, I don't understand. You're a woman, right? And you can communicate with other women of your species. So why don't you go out there and see if you can make any sense of this person? Maybe you're on the same wavelength. Maybe you can understand, because I can't get anything out of her. I don't know what she's saying. So she's like, okay, fine. I'll go talk to this like hooker woman. And she goes into the room and then realizes that, oh, no, there is something very wrong with her. She's not just on drugs. But she's like, oh, okay, well, being that you don't know who you are or where you came from or what your name is or any of these words, because she's trying to explain that she came from a funeral home, but she doesn't know the word funeral, so she keeps saying dead people, all right? And she doesn't know the word kill either, because she's like, I saw an old man get dead.
An old man get dead.
That's great. How about you take a shower and go to bed for right now? So that's what she does. She goes in the shower. She like starts screaming because apparently there's this giant gaping hole in the back of her head, which we don't know where that came from. But that's probably why her head hurts so bad. So yeah, they like try and like fix her up and stuff. It doesn't really matter. But she has like a place to stay now. But oh no, the killer, who there was a separate scene of him like shoving this giant needle in his eyeball socket because she like stabbed his eye out, so he's got like one eye. He's like Michael Myers now. Why was that? I don't know why that was important, but he came back and he followed her to this house while this gimpy guy, the cane guy, is fixing up the back of her head after she showered. The wife is conveniently gone out of the scene, so that when he tries to go back into his bedroom to his lovely loving wife, the door's locked. So he knocks on the door, nobody answers, so he immediately body checks the door off and realizes that this silver-skulled man has his wife captive outside of their window. So they both run outside. This guy has like his wife, I don't even know what position they're in, because he's got like half of her body hanging out of the window. And this man, this skull guy, has the biggest knife I have ever seen ever, and they're so cool. All right, he's got two of them. He only uses one knife for the first like half of the movie, but he has this giant knife. It's like this long, it's this wide. One side is just like got a nice blade, and the other side has like spikes to it. It's really cool. See that? See the knives he's holding? Look at that. Yeah, so coolest knife I've ever seen. And so he stabs the knife through her face, like through her cheek and then out the other one. And this is when they used a little bit of CGI to make like her skin like stretch and stuff. But like it was it was still pretty effective. Like the first kill was like there was a lot more CGI than the other kills, so it wasn't like as, but it was like it's very gory, all right? It does not hold back with the gore there. And he takes the knife, he shoves it through her cheek, and then shoves her head into the side of the house, and then like her head just like sticks there, so her body's just hanging out of the window with her head impaled into the siding of the house, while her husband watches, which is actually kind of sad because they did a pretty good job with like making you like connected with these characters already. For like a low budget film, I at least felt connected with the husband and wife a little bit, and like feeling their connection. It was kind of sad, it's like, oh man, Watched his lovely wife get skewered with a really cool knife. But they ran away. They run into the car. They drive away while he's sobbing, and then right as they drive away, this other car shows up, and it turns out that it's the brother of the wife who just got butchered with this giant knife, and his girlfriend. Okay, and the reason why the brother is there is because he's like, man, that man's been cheating on my sister. I just know it. I saw him with this other girl the other day. He must be cheating. And the girlfriend's like, okay, well, can we just bang instead? Like, why did you bring me all the way out here in the middle of the night in this car? Like, I thought we were getting freaky. And he's like, no, I gotta go in there and tell my sister that her husband's cheating on her. And, you know, she's dead now, so I don't think that really matters. This skull guy with this giant knife is there instead, so you'll never guess what happens to these two characters who have nothing to do with the plot in a slasher film. The boyfriend gets out of the car because he sees this other car that isn't, his sister's, and he's like, whoa, look at that car. That must be the other woman's. And there's a license plate that says Chrome Skull on it. And you're like, Chrome Skull, huh? It's like, that's gotta be her car. So he goes back and he's sticking his head back through his own car to talk to his girlfriend. The camera angle is framed just right so that Chrome Skull can come over and shove the knife through his mouth. There's a lot of knife and mouth combos in this movie where it's just he goes for the mouth every single time with those knives. It's kind of crazy, but he sticks it in his mouth and then takes it and goes and just cuts his head vertically, like just in half this way, and his face just oof. It's some good stuff. His face just gone. All right, it's not just like skinning his face, it's like vertically, so it's just like it goes, oh yeah, it's so good. It's really good. So he's dead. All right, he had like a minute of screen time. He's dead. The girlfriend also oh dude, oh, this is so good. So the girlfriend gets out of the car after her boyfriend's face got split in half, and she's gonna try and run. All right, so she's running, but Chrome Skull's this guy literally just stands. There's a lot of standing happening from this guy. He just like, he doesn't really care about much. It's kind of funny. And he's got this giant knife, and he waits for her to get out of the car, and then he does the coolest spin move. It was so unnecessary, so unnecessary, but it was so necessary at the same time. I could get an actual knife. I'm not going to because I don't trust myself with that. I don't have a lot of room, and I'm not moving the camera because I'm too lazy, but pretend this thumb is getting a lot of action for the past two videos, but pretend this is a knife so that I don't actually take a kitchen knife and try and do this, because that's not a good idea. I should not be trusted with that. This is the knife. He waits for her to get out of the car, and then he just does except he didn't raise his arm like a ballerina like I did, because I don't really have that much room. But he literally just went and did like a really cool spin move. I don't have a lot of room. He's like, yeah, that was good. See that? That was a pretty cool spin. God, I know I'm so entertaining. But yeah, he literally does a spin move for no reason, okay? And you're just like, oh, he probably just like cut her arm. So she's like running away because she was unfazed by this cut, apparently. And his super awesome, stunning moves that he just pulled. But she runs, she finds like the dead woman who's hanging out of the window. I can't speak, I'm sorry. Who's hanging out of the window, and she's like, oh my god. And then she looks down, and her intestines are falling out of this massive slit in her stomach. And then she falls over and dies because he knows that he just split her whole stomach open with the power of God, with that amazing twirl that he did. And he literally just stood there in the back while he watched. He's like, because he knows she's dead. All right, he's just going to watch until she realizes and then falls over. It's like a cartoon. The cartoon characters don't actually fall off a cliff until they look down and realize that they're hanging in midair. That is exactly what happened. Like, she was running perfectly fine until she looked down, saw her intestines are hanging out, and then she's like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be dying right now. Same thing. We have the only two remaining characters as of right now is the Gimpy Man and Mrs. Nobody. All right, those are the only two characters who are like alive. Everyone else just got brutally butchered. But they get in this car and they drive, and they're apparently driving to like every house in this neighborhood, but it's not even really a neighborhood. They're like presumably in the middle of nowhere, okay? Because when she tried to be like, hey, do you have a phone to call the police? Like, oh, yeah, well, we're 100 miles from the city police, so they're not really going to get here anytime soon. So it's like, what? But then they have like a local police station, so it's like, why are you talking about city police when you have a local police station? Call them instead. I don't know why. I don't know. That was kind of confusing. But they're hopping from house to house to see who has a phone and who doesn't. And they go to one last guy's house, and it's like this nerdy guy who opens the door. And they're like, do you have a phone? He's like, no, but I do have this awesome computer. So they come in. He's like, I'll email the police for you. Because apparently that they just it's 2009. He emails the police while he's talking about how his mother died like a few days ago and he has a funeral to go to tomorrow. They're like, hey, we should look up killers in the area. It's like finding hot single moms near you, but like for serial killers. No, but the gimpy guy's like, oh, you can look up information on a computer? And he's like, yeah, I can do whatever I want on this thing. It's awesome. It's 2009, brother. We get with the times. He's like, oh, okay. So they looked on like the most wanted for the area. They're like, yeah, there's a serial killer on the loose in the area. Most likely a Caucasian man in like mid 30s to early 40s. They didn't mention the chrome skull and camcorder on his shoulder, but they're like, yeah, he videotapes all of his murders and sends them to the police for fun. So they're like, okay, so the police know about him and just aren't really doing much about it, apparently. So they're like, okay, so the police are not going to get back to us through email anytime soon, but how about we just drive to the local police station instead of jumping from house to house trying to call the police. That's just a crazy thought that they had. So they collected this nerdy guy with them, and they're like, yeah, you're coming with us, even though you are some random guy just minding your own business in your house in the middle of the night. But now we're putting your life in danger for you. You're welcome. So they took him with them and went and drove to the police station, where they went inside. It was completely empty. They somehow just made it to the back of the police station to find there's like 3 bodies just like displayed. All right, there's one in the cell with the camera on his shoulder. There's this other guy like strung up somewhere. I'm pretty sure there was another one. And yeah, and they were all dead because Chrome Skull went there and once again also butchered these guys. We didn't get to see that, unfortunately, but all the dead bodies look really good. All right, it's really good effects. It's very nice. It's very good to see. It's very refreshing after some of these movies I've been watching. So Chrome Skull's there. He starts like attacking them. He doesn't actually make it. They run, they get in the car, they leave. All right. Nothing really important happens, nothing comes out of it other than knowing that all of the police are dead and nobody's coming for them. Alright, that's kind of the point of that scene, because the only other police that would be coming are from the city 100 miles away. Alright, so now that the entire police force is dead, they get in the car, they drive. Alright, so Mr. Gimpy's kind of tired because he's like, I know that you don't know what your name is, okay, so how about we just pick out a name for you, right? He's like, do you have any, like, childhood memories? Which is the dumbest thing. She can't even remember her name. Why do you think she's gonna know anything about her childhood? But, she proved me wrong, because she did have a flashback to a doll. She's like, I was friends with a doll. He's like, that's great. What's your name, though? And she's like, her name was, like, Princess something. Periwinkle. I don't know. It was some princess. And he's like, alright, well, then I'll just call you Princess. So now, the main character's name is Princess. And I think the guy with the cane, Gimpy, I think his name is actually, Tucker. Yeah, so we have Princess, we have Tucker, and we have this other nerdy guy. But they're driving, and then she's like, stop the car. So they stop the car in the middle of the night, in the middle of the road, and they are parked in front of the funeral home. She's like, that's where I came from. They're like, okay, cool. Why'd we stop the car? We need to be driving towards the city. And she's like, I need to go in there. Maybe I'll remember something. So she gets out of the car and she goes in the funeral home. Well, Gimpy gets out of the car. He's like, okay, I'll go in there with her, all right, because she can't be by herself, all right? She doesn't know her. She doesn't even know who she is. She needs supervision. How about you just park the car in the back and we'll meet up with you after. So they go inside. They're looking around. She's like, oh, yeah, that's where the old man was impaled with that metal rod. His body's gone, but he was killed right there. He's like, okay, that's great. And the nerdy guy who's in the car parks next to this hearse in the back because funeral home. And his dead, decrepit mother, who we actually did see in the morgue at the beginning of the movie, rises out of the hearse. It's actually really it is actually really funny because he's parked next to this hearse and just looks over, and his mom, his deceased mother, who looks like she's 98 years old, she just goes like this. She just goes, and then she starts like smushing her face on the window and stuff. It's pretty funny. And then, the Gimpy comes out and retrieves the man, and then they go inside. He's like, "Would you believe me if I saw my dead mother like rise from the grave?" They're like, "Shut up." He's like, "Okay," but they literally decide to stay in the funeral home until like morning because he's like, Gimpy's like, "Oh, my brother-in-law is gonna be here at 6 a.m. sharp." Little does he know that his face is split in half currently, and he's not going to show up at 6 a.m. because he was trying to call your ass out for cheating on your wife. But we'll let that plot slip by. We'll just forget about that, I guess. All right, so he feels so bad that his wife is dead. And he feels so bad for his brother-in-law because he's like, I know my brother-in-law is going to be there at 6 a.m. and he's going to find his sister, my wife, there, dead, hanging out of a window. I have to cover up the body. So he decides to leave Princess and Nerdy Man in the funeral home so that he can drive the car back to his house so he can cover up his dead wife so that his brother-in-law doesn't have to see her. Which is the dumbest thing because their car is low on gas. They will not shut up about their gas tank almost being empty the entire movie. So why are you wasting gas going all the way back to clean up a body that's not going to be there? Because if the old man who died in the funeral home if his body's not there, your wife's gone too, okay? I don't know what you think you're doing, but Gimpy goes back, he waddles into the house with his cane, and he goes over, he finds like the window, and guess what? His wife is not there, all right? Not there at all, so he destroys his entire bedroom with his cane, just starts beating the hell out of everything, breaking lamps. It looks really fun. Like, I want to be an actor and do that. That would be so good. And then he literally leans over, opens his drawer, and pulls out a revolver, all right? Which is annoying because no one in any horror movie can ever own any pistol other than a revolver. Because apparently no other model of pistol exists in a horror movie ever. It is always a revolver because there's always only 6 shots and they waste 5 of them doing absolutely nothing, shooting at nothing, and then they have 1 and they miss that too, and then they try and then they'll try and shoot the killer and then nothing will come out and they'll be like, what? How am I out? I only shot 5 bullets through the wall. I don't know, it's really dumb. Every single movie. The horror movies need to just get rid of the revolver. Alright, no one owns a revolver anymore, okay? We are not in the Wild West, okay? No person who owns a pistol has a revolver as their number one thing of defense, okay? No, we are not cowboys, okay? I know it's 2009, alright? I know we don't really have cell phones yet, but oh my god, just get a Glock or something. With 16 rounds, alright? But anyway, he has the revolver. He hasn't shot anything yet. It's just, this was my theory, was as soon as I saw the revolver, I'm like, that's useless. Alright, that is useless in a horror movie, just put it back. Alright, because you're not going to do anything good with it. You're just going to be stupid. It's not going to work. Just set it down or just shoot yourself. Alright, because you're not going to be useful. We all know this. Just get rid of the gun. Alright, just cut your losses right now and stop. So while Gimpy's crashing out and destroying everything with his cane, the other two that he left behind at the funeral home figured out that Chrome Skull likes to mingle around this giant warehouse that's right next to the funeral home, and he has this nice little hobby, as a lot of us, usually do, of collecting dead bodies that he killed. And he puts them in coffins in this warehouse, okay? She's like, I have to go in there and get something. I still don't know what she went in there to try and get, but she's like, yeah, we need to grab weapons. We need to go in that warehouse that he's currently in. Nerdy guy, zooms in with his eyeballs and sees that Chrome Skull, he doesn't have a strap to hold his mask on, okay? It's literally just suction to his face, like a suction cup. But he literally has his mask off. We don't ever see his face, but he has his Chrome Skull mask off. And he has medical adhesive that he's painting on the inside of his mask so he can glue it to his face to keep it on. That is the dumbest thing and coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Alright, that is such a stupid thing to be doing, but it's so unique and it's so funny. because he's got like this really cool like black robe thing on, and he keeps his metal mask on his face with medical adhesive while he records everything on his shoulder. He looks so cool, and he's got cool knives. He's perfect. All right, this is the perfect face of a serial killer. All right, this is beautiful. I don't know, like who comes up with, yeah, we'll have someone in a really cool mask, but let's have him glue his mask on with medical adhesive instead of just, I don't know, like a strap or something. She runs in the warehouse. Nerdy man tries to, get his attention, but he doesn't care and walks into the warehouse instead of killing him and locking the door. So Nerdy guy is just locked outside of this warehouse while Chrome Skull and Princess are frolicking inside of this, landmine of butchered bodies in these coffins. She was hiding, and then it doesn't matter. She found this, like, basically naked woman. She's topless with, like, nothing on but, like, underwear, who's tied on top of a headless naked woman with no clothes on. It was very confused. I don't know what was being implied there because it was very odd. Okay, I can't show you. There's this dead headless woman who's completely naked in this coffin, and then this other girl who's almost completely naked, strapped face down, like on her stomach, and her legs are just like sticking off the side of the coffin. It was so weird. It was very bizarre. But she's alive. Not the headless one, but the other woman is still alive. Princess tries to like untangle, or she found a knife and is trying to cut her free. Other woman who's strapped down is screaming bloody murder for her to let her go, even though she's already trying to let her free. All right. So Chrome Skull just casually walks over and just slits her whole throat open. The person who's strapped down. There's a lot of neck action, and there's a lot of mouth action for a lot of these kills. That whole thing was just kind of weird. I don't know. But naked woman is dead, and Princess ran away, and then Chrome Skull caught up to her and tranquilized her. All right, could have very easily just stabbed that giant knife through her jaw, but he didn't. He tranquilized her, shoved her in another coffin. Okay, this poor woman, this poor princess, has been shoved in another coffin after just waking up from it at the beginning of the movie. He drills a hole through the top of the coffin to stick his little camcorder in to videotape him like stabbing the knife through the coffin, which is what I'm assuming he was going to try and do, before Gimpy shows back up with this revolver after scolding Nerdy Guy. He's like, all you had to do was protect her for 2 seconds. He's like, yeah, well, you screamed at her and drove back to cover up your wife who isn't even there, so shut up. He broke through these old rotting boards of this warehouse, shoots 3 shots at this man, and instead of, it was not nearly as bad as I thought it was, because he did actually shoot him. It was basically in the heart, a little down, alright, so he missed it a little bit. But he did shoot Chrome Skull. Chrome Skull fell over this coffin into the abyss. They broke through the wall. They found this woman after digging through all of these like other coffins with these hyper-realistic dead bodies and that are all like butchered and cut up and stuff. It's pretty gruesome. But they find her, they rip the coffin open, they take her, they leave instead of finding Chrome Skull and, killing him. They run away after they're like, I think I shot him. It's like, good enough for me. Wound them. Don't ever finish them off. Don't ever finish off the main killer, because then he won't be able to come back and kill you. And you don't, you want a little spice in your life, right? You want to be running for your life. Why would you kill somebody who's been killing your whole family when you could just run away instead of killing him while he's down? Okay, so they take the car, they drive back to Mr. Nerdy Man's house after leaving Chrome Skull there. Chrome Skull has his own coffin, by the way. He is laying in a coffin that is designed for him. And he's got like a little briefcase with all of this medical supplies because he keeps getting stabbed in the eye and shot in the chest. He doesn't make any sound, so he literally is like Michael Myers. Like, you don't hear a single word or single anything come out of his mouth. Like, no, there is no grunts, there's nothing to pain. It's very strange. He's completely silent. But there's a close-up shot of him, like, sewing himself back together. It's like, okay, so he doesn't feel pain. All right, that's great, that's good. But they drive back to Mr. Nerdy Man's house. They find out there's a body in the back of the car while Princess is looking through his cam recorder, because apparently there's the little camera in the car, and she's going through all these tapes of him murdering people, and she finds one of herself, of him dragging her into the coffin at the beginning of the film so that she can try and figure out who she is and stuff. It's kind of like, I want to know who I am. I don't know my name. Still, I'm a princess. Kind of want to know who I am. So she's looking through it. The camera dies. All right, battery's completely dead. She's like, guys, we need to go to the market because actually she didn't even say that the camera died because they started screaming at her because they're like, you're so annoying. You're not even helping us move this dead body out of this trunk of the car. How about you just go in the car and shut up? She's like, okay. All right. So they carry this body out of the car. They bring it into like the kitchen. And she literally just takes the car and leaves. So she drives to the market. Turns out that this car is connected wirelessly through this other guy's phone. So Chrome Skull can literally just lock the doors from his phone, his cellular device. So now she's trapped in this car, and can't get out while she's driving to the market. Chrome Skull has this backup car, which I'm pretty sure is also his. It's the hearse, but the hearse is decked out. This thing has like those steering wheels with like that's just like a big like silver chain instead of an actual wheel. It looks so good in there. It is so cool. But he drives that hearse, which is so fitting, after her to the market. Then Mr. Gimpy and Nerdman is like, all right, we'll just walk to the market instead. So they're walking on the road. This car passes them with two men in it who are bopping out to this banger music. I don't know what's going on, but they're also going to the market. They're like, hey, we need to pick you. We need to hitchhiking. There we go. That's the word. And they're like, no, get a car. Get a car! And they leave. They go to the market, which is also where Princess is. But she's locked in the car, so she can't get out. And Chrome Skull shows up, gets in the car that she's in, is like threatening her, and he talks through the phone. So he like types out whatever he wants to say, and then like these words from like all of the people who he films like is like spliced so that it sounds like there's like a voice coming through the phone because he doesn't speak. And he's like speaking through the phone, but he keeps saying like this really weird stuff about piggies.
This little piggy went to the market. This one stayed home.
Like it's really funny. Like that's what he's saying through. That's what he's choosing to say through this phone while he's like killing people. But he forces her to go in the store and get like another like roll of film or like a little cassette thing for the camera. So she goes in. She's like, yeah, I'll take one of those. And then she sees like through the phone that this man in the car is like speaking to her through the phone, telling her to hurry up and get the cassette. And he's like honking the horn and stuff. And without any hesitation, the cashier, who is strikingly handsome, by the way, good-looking cashier, gets this gun out and walks out to the car because he's going to blow the head off of whoever's speaking ill to this very attractive young lady. And Chrome Skull gets out of the car like a 7-foot man, all right? 7 feet. He's got this chrome skull on. He looks awesome. Giant knife. And the cashier's like, don't come any closer, I'll shoot you. If a man who looks like that, has the biggest knife you've ever seen, is walking towards you like that, I don't know. Maybe shoot him in the face, dude. Why are you waiting for him to just walk up to you so he can grab the barrel and shoot you in the face? Because that's exactly what happened. Chrome Skull grabbed the barrel of the gun and shot the kid in the face, having his brains blow all over the door. He deserved it though, because if as soon as you see that knife, shoot him. All right, private property, whatever. It's 2009, dude. It doesn't matter. Just shoot him. All right? Why are you letting him get that close? The gun is like a mini rifle. It's like this long. It's such an awkward length, and you let him get that close to you. Now the cashier's dead. She's alone in this market with these two presumably gay guys. I don't know. I'm not going to assume, but I'm going to assume that they're gay. She's like, I'm going to go see if there's another way out of here. So he goes into like this weird basement thing of this market. Chrome Skull was there, slit his throat right open. All right? Should have seen that one coming. But Chrome Skull is he's like playing with these guys, all right? He could easily kill all of them at any moment if he wanted to, but he's just playing around, all right? You don't want to just go right for the kill because that doesn't make for a good movie. He's recording all of it. So now there's just like this one guy and this other girl, Princess, in this market, and Chrome Skull's just like a shark, and he's like circling the market, I'm assuming. I don't know. He's just outside somewhere. Finally, Gimpy and Nerdy Man show up, and make it to the market. They open the door. They reunite. Yay! So now the gang's back, alright? Gimpy, Nerdy, Princess, and this gay guy are all in this market, alright? And they're like, alright, we're done running, alright? I don't want to run anymore. Grab your weapons, grab everything you can. They somehow obtained the... Oh yeah, they went into Chrome Skull's car, got his little briefcase with his medical supplies. And Nerdy Man took it out and he's like, oh man, this is some good stuff. He's got glue in there, which is different from the medical adhesive, I'm pretty sure. I think. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, I got it. I got a single drop of this stuff on my leg when I was a kid. It burned right through my clothes, stuck my pajamas to my leg. The doctor had to come and cut it off. They made this glue during the war to seal soldiers' wounds back together. So I'm like, okay, that couldn't be foreshadowing or anything. They all get together, they get weapons and stuff, and then, ooh, the power goes out. I don't know, turn the power off. And then the phone starts ringing, like the little cellular device. It's like, incoming email. And Nerdy Man's like, I'll get it. So he goes over the counter. He jumps over the counter, and he takes his face, and he goes like that. He gets like this tire sealant, I'm pretty sure it is, and he sticks the tube, it's like a spray, he sticks it in his ear, and he sprays his ear, and it's like coming out his eyes and stuff, which would not happen. All right, your ears are not connected to your tear ducts. All right, so I don't know why it was coming out of his mouth and his eyes, but this was the worst kill in my opinion, because Chrome Skull's up here and he's spraying this foamy tire sealant into Nerdy Man's ear, and it's coming out, it's pouring out, but like it's horrible CGI. All right, nothing was practical about this, so his like face was filling up and sagging, but it just looked so awful, and then his face blew up and he died. Sorry, Gerald, but I had to demonstrate that a little bit, but yeah. So Nerdy Man is dead. Worst kill in my opinion, because it was kind of dumb. I like the idea. It's just it looked really bad. And then Gimpy's like, "Don't worry, I'll get him." He didn't get him. All right, he got stabbed and died. So now Gimpy's dead. Didn't put up really much of a fight at all. The other guy, I think he like ran out of the store, so he's like not even there anymore. I think he was like getting the car started or something. I don't know. The princess is like, no, I'm gonna stay, and actually no, I'm gonna hide in this freezer. So she opens the door, she crawls in, she's hiding. She's got this metal grate that she's trying to like push him off with, you know, she's trying to keep him away. She's like, I know your name. And he's like, well, he didn't say anything, but he typed it, and he's like, yeah, but what's yours? Which is like such a sick comeback, because like she literally doesn't know her name. And then he puts this camcorder in the freezer for her to watch. So she picks it up, she's watching it, and it is the funniest plot twist I have ever seen in a movie. Because it turns out, it shows you exactly who this is. Because this whole movie, she's like, I probably have a family that I need to come home to. They probably want me back. They figured out that Princess was stolen from Miami and brought to wherever they are now. It's like, she's been missing. You know, we don't really know why she's been missing, but like, or why he didn't just kill her and left her alive. I don't know. But she's like, yeah, I probably have such a good life. And then you look on the camera, and she is legitimately a hooker. She's actually, like, that is such a funny thing to say in the first scene of the movie. Where, like, Gimpy's wife is like, oh, she looks like a hooker, as a joke. And then at the end of the movie, it's like, no, she was. She actually is. She has no family. She's got no life. It is just, she's the lowest of the low. And it is so sad, but it is so funny that it turned out that she actually was a prostitute. Like, that is, what a great plot twist. And then afterwards, she's like, all right, you know what, just kill me. Just come get me. I don't care anymore. She's like, you can actually kill me now. I have no life. No one's waiting for me. Everyone, you just killed everybody. Like, why would I? Just kill me. I don't want to go back to hookering around. Like, I don't want to do that. All right? It's going to turn into like the bunny game. I don't want that. All right? Just kill me. So he goes in, and then she shoves the grate into his face and rips his mask off. This man's mask has come off like 17 times throughout the movie, all right? It has come off multiple times, and he keeps getting this medical adhesive and lathering it on because it keeps falling off. So I'm like, dude, just get a strap, all right? Just get a strap. You don't need to be special, all right? You're not different. I mean, you kind of are, but, like, not really, dude. Like, come on. You're a middle-aged white man. There's nothing special about you. And you're bald. Like, you got nothing going for you. Just put a strap on your mask, dude. I also forgot to mention this. Gimpy did shoot him twice in the face. But guess what? The mask is bulletproof. His chrome mask that he lathers medical adhesive on to glue to his face is bulletproof. That is the coolest thing. What other killer has a bulletproof mask? All right, it didn't even leave a dent. I don't know. It was like made out of like vibranium or something. Like, I don't know what this thing is made out of or how it's staying on his face. He needs a lot of glue to hold up a bulletproof solid metal mask on his face. But that was really cool, deflecting bullets off of his face. It's like the only time anyone has ever shot the killer in the head in a horror movie, and of course that's the only part that's fully protected. Every other part of his body is completely vulnerable. Shoot him twice in the head, does nothing. Dude, what the polar opposite of a slasher film, dude. So here's where I'm a little confused. I don't know if the medical adhesive and the extremely strong glue are two different things. Chrome Skull, with his mask off, poured the bottle because he's tired of just lathering it on, poured the whole bottle on, and then stuck it to his face, and his whole face started melting and burning. Zero sound coming out of him, by the way, because he can't feel pain, but he was ripping, he was trying to get the mask off, but it was that really, really strong glue melted his whole face off. He did take the mask off, and his face was all just bubbling, and it was gone. All right, you could see his skull, and he fell down, and then Princess came out of the freezer, grabbed a baseball bat, and, bludgeoned his face in with it just to, finish him off, even though he was very clearly already dead. And yeah, Chrome Skull died. He's dead. And so is everyone else, except for that other guy. So she leaves the building after everyone is dead, and Chrome Skull is dead, and they get in the car, where the guy's literally just sitting in the car, waiting for her. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know why. I don't know. Apparently he had faith that she was going to kill him. But she's like, all right, where to? He's like, Atlanta.
Atlanta?
She's like, sounds good. And then they drive off into the distance, and then poetically the police show up as they're driving away and find all of the bodies, and there you go. Laid to rest. Which I kinda like that. I kinda like that title for it, because she was laid to rest in a coffin twice in the film, along with all of these other things. I like how I really like this. All right, the movie itself was, it was all right. All right, the plot was a little, it was a little rough. There's something wrong with my brain. Maybe I have brain trauma. Acting a little bad. Practical effects amazing. Once again, amazing practical effects. Storyline a little eh. Killer 10 out of 10. I mean, 10 out of 10. This is one of the coolest killers I have ever seen in a movie. I think he's just so cool. The fact that he uses adhesive is so stupid, but it's so funny and it's very unique. It's at least unique, alright? You gotta give him that. He's recording it. It reminds me of that guy from Scream 4 who's like recording everything. It just reminds me of Scream 4 in general, where they're just recording and trying to make a movie. That's literally just this guy. He has the coolest mask that's bulletproof. He has a cool little recorder. He's got a cool outfit. He's got the coolest knives ever. I mean, everything about him is super awesome. And, I'd give the killer a 10 out of 10. Gerald, what do you think the Gore score is, buddy? Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. I agree with that. He also likes this because of, the whole skull thing and dead bodies. Kind of got him a little bit, excited. So, he likes this movie quite a bit. I also like this movie quite a bit. Like, I would watch it again. I would. Which I can't say for almost any of the movies I have reviewed in the How Extreme Is It series in general. But this is one where I'd be like, yeah, I'd show, if there's somebody who I know who really likes gore, I'll show him this one. I wouldn't say it's a good movie overall, but it's an okay movie. It's okay. Practical effects are beautiful, and that's the reason why I'd be showing people. But yeah, I am excited because people didn't even like the first movie. There is a second movie called Chrome Skull Laid to Rest 2, which I will be reviewing soon. So I'm excited for that one because I think people like that one more than this one. And this one was already fine. This one was already good. I don't have a ton of complaints with this. So I am looking forward to reviewing that second one, and I am so happy I finally got to watch this. This is almost exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be pretty good. Here I am being right and stuff. So yeah, let's get the board of extremity out and rank this thing, because we have I forget this almost every time. Thank you, Gerald. We have a small version of Laid to Rest. This is the normal cover art for the first movie right there. Pretty cool. Also, if you want a Blu-ray of this movie, not gonna happen. All right, so you're gonna have to, if you want this movie physically, you're gonna have to get it DVD because Blu-ray almost doesn't exist. This is just lucky because I'm just basically Jesus Christ himself at finding movies and stuff. I'm like Harry Houdini. I'm like everyone good, okay? Except Harry Houdini died doing a trick. So I guess he couldn't be that good, huh? All right, here we go. We're here, we're back. We are back at our favorite game show of all time. How extreme is it? With the board of extremity, with the signs down here now instead of on top. And you can't even really see it, but that says the board of extremity. I spent a lot of time on that. Wow. Today we have Laid to Rest. I already showed you the little tiny thing. And if you are new to this game show, then oh, lucky you, it's your first time. This is the board of extremity. Alright, we have 5 stages of grief: green, white, yellow, orange, and red. And up at the top is the most extreme movie of each season. We are currently on season 2 of How Extreme Is It? And each season is 10 episodes long. We are episode number 16 right now. Now, which one is Laid to Rest going to go in? Is it going to go barely extreme, not terrible, it's uncomfy, that's pretty bad, or scarring? Who's to say? Me. I'm to say. So let's get a drum roll, please. All right, ready, set, go. Ooh, that's a yellow. You see that? That's a yellow. Yes, sir. I don't know where in the yellow I want it to be, though. Is it going to go low end, or is it going to go high end? Huh? That's level 3. It's uncomfy. All right? And yeesh. You know, I'm thinking. All right, my brain's cooking a little bit. And by cooking, I mean frying and, you know, becoming dysfunctional. I think it's gonna go in uncomfy. We know that, but I think I'm gonna put it high end. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm going to put it high end. It's uncomfy. I'm gonna be honest. Some of these rankings, you know, I look back and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? But it doesn't matter because I'm not going to change them. Based on what other movies are here, which I'm gonna go over for you. I feel like it ranks high end. It's uncomfy, even though it's really not uncomfortable for me to watch because this is just all I see all of the time. But those practical effects are very realistic. Okay, more realistic than anything on here, I believe. It's not super over the top, but it's like, whoa, whoa, that probably could have been an actual person dying, and we just wouldn't know. Like, there are some of the dead bodies on there where I'm like, whoa, that's probably real. And you know what? That's very impressive, okay? The practical effects are just, they carried this movie entirely. It is insane. You have to watch it, all right? I would recommend this movie. I would almost never do that with any of these. All of these, I'm like, just don't watch it. This one, I feel like you gotta watch it. If you're a Gore fan, you have to watch it, okay? You have to. You don't have a choice. Which is why I'm excited to see Laid to Rest 2, because it's by the same guy, and you already know it's gonna be good. Alright, I already know it is going to be good. But to go over these, once again, down here, the only one in barely extreme low end is Devil Woman Doctor, which is a Japanese guinea pig film. Was not extreme at all. The 2 and not terrible, high end, not terrible, is All Hallows Eve, which is my first video, and the Human Centipede, which everybody loves. Then we have It's Uncomfy, low end, which is Devil's Experiment, He Never Dies, and Android of Notre Dame, which are all Japanese guinea pig films. Then we have High End It's Uncomfy with Flower of Flesh and Blood, Christmas Cruelty, Mermaid in a Manhole, and Laid to Rest, the one we just watched today. Flower of Flesh and Blood and Mermaid in a Manhole are the other two guinea pig movies, and Christmas Cruelty is just its own thing, which it shouldn't exist. Then That's Pretty Bad, low end, is we have The Bunny Game, Antichrist, and The Song of Solomon, which are all low end. That's Pretty Bad. They are pretty hard to watch, alright? And then high end, That's Pretty Bad, we have Bouquet of Guts and Gore and Bloodshot, which are two American guinea pig films. The Song of Solomon is also an American guinea pig film, and they are very well known for their insane practical effects. But honestly, Laid to Rest is on par, if not better, with some of the kills than, some of the stuff in American guinea pig, because the American guinea pig series is very over the top and very in your face. Laid to Rest is more tame, believe it or not, but it's very, very effective with blending CGI in there as well, which is probably why it looks more realistic. But, those are just people getting tortured and torn apart the entire time, so naturally, normal people aren't going to be able to stomach that very easily, and it's very, very gruesome to watch, which is why they're up there. And then we have 29 Needles, which is all the way at the top because there's just way too much nudity and just general mutilation for my liking. So there's a lot of that happens in the movie, which is why it's up there. So if you want to go see that review, all of these, I reviewed all of these. All of these have their own video, so I recommend you go and watch every single one of them and then tell your family and your dog about all of these and then force them to watch it. So there you go. That's your review. There's the ranking of Laid to Rest. Number 1. I was supposed to do this way earlier in the day, but once again my tire blew up, and I kind of had to fix that, which took a while, so it threw my whole schedule off. But you know, it's whatever. It's whatever. I'm here. I did it. Hopefully that's entertaining. Thank you all so much for watching episode 16 of How Extreme Is It. Stay tuned for the rest of them. I'm trying to get one episode out every week so that we can get this season done by the end of the summer. Yeah, that's a great choice. Gerald has decided, for those of you who have watched to the very end of the video, you get a very nice treat, as you usually do. If you comment down below, "Bro, she literally was a hooker," then you get to be pinned at the top of the comment section. I don't know if I should be telling people to say that, but Gerald told me to say that. That was his idea, not mine. He comes up with all of these pins. I do not take the blame for that. I'm sorry. But if you comment that down below, the first one to do that will get pinned. I'm spitting on the microphone. But yeah, if you take away nothing else from this video, you at least have this one pro tip where, if you ever find yourself in possession of a bulletproof chrome skull mask and straps are just far too inconvenient for you, then just use medical grade adhesive to glue it onto your face. Hot glue the mask onto your face. Alright? Pro tip. Try it at home. Don't actually do that. I feel like I could, for legal reasons, don't trust anything I say.